Good evening. Taxi operators staged a protest in the vicinity of the Portmore Mall in St. Catherine over the police shooting of one of their colleagues earlier today. The shooting reportedly occurred at about 10:20 a.m. The injured taximan remains in hospital. According to eyewitnesses, he was shot by a cop after allegedly committing a traffic violation. In the meantime, the police reports are that the man who was shot and injured during an operation in Portmore was driving a vehicle that was used to hit down a policeman traveling on a motorcycle in the parish a few days ago. Head of the St. Catherine South Police Division, Senior Superintendent of Police Christopher Phillips said that there was a tussle and the driver was shot and injured along with a police officer.
I can confirm that we have one taxi operator who was shot and injured by the police, and we also have a policeman who was also injured in the process. Very unfortunate incident. The information reaching us so far is that the police team saw a vehicle that last week hit down a policeman off the bike and intercepted that vehicle. Tussle ensued between the driver and the police officer. I understand during that time the driver was shot. We're still waiting on further details. We have the team on the ground doing the necessary investigation to unearth all the finer details. Indicom, of course, was informed there should be a location by now. Pretty unfortunate incident, but it goes to remind us of some of the challenges we're seeing in the general society. How persons are using the road, the kind of confrontation between police and the citizens. We really don't want to have that. Oftentimes we have people, since of recent people are empowered to be taking on the police physically, and we really want to discourage that kind of action.
SSP Phillips says his team will also engage with taxi operators and other community organizations to see how the force can build a stronger relationship with the public.
Despite an unfortunate situation, it presented an opportunity for me as a commanding officer to have a talk with some of the taxi operators who were gathered here. They have expressed a number of different issues. Some of those issues not directly, the police can't directly deal with those, but we'll see how best we can provide an avenue for them to hear some of these issues, because there are genuine issues. There are issues about security, there are issues about facilities that are assigned for them to use, where on the road they are, designated to park and so on. So we'll look into those. Though an unfortunate situation, we have an opportunity to build out a stronger relationship with them going forward. This time in St. Catherine South Division, we are focused on building partnership right throughout. Later this afternoon, we'll be having a meeting with our principals, Dean of Discipline, guidance councils from all the high schools, all the schools across the St. Catherine South Division. So we really want to be building out stronger partnership. It's not a we versus them kind of a thing. We want to build a partnership. So we pull in the positive from this very unfortunate incident.
In other news tonight, Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson, in giving the nation an update on matters relating to crime and security, announced that 55 resource officers have been deployed to deal with the flare-up of violence in schools in Western Jamaica.
Since the reopening of face-to-face school, we have seen violent incidents taking place between students, some of which are actual gang conflicts playing out in school or on the streets. In addressing the challenge, particularly in Western Jamaica, we have trained and deployed an additional 55 school resource officers across Area 1. We don't intend to put police officers in every school, and we shouldn't have to. But it's important to train more of our members to support and help school administrators deal with the challenges of violence that they face.
The police commissioner also pointed out that reprisal killings are a major cause of murders across the country.
Of gunmen carrying out their reprisals through the shooting of multiple persons. These gunmen are callous and are unconcerned about bystanders. We saw this in Norwood St. James, where on March 26th, a reprisal for a killing the night before led to 8 persons being shot, of which 3 died in one incident. Although we arrested the criminal suspect within 48 hours and have charged him on the 1st of April, the damage was already done. In Marvelly, on March the 24th, gunmen shot 6 people, of which 3 died. One of our police teams responded immediately, resulting in a pursuit of the getaway car. These gunmen shot at our members as they sought to escape. Our response forced them to abandon the vehicle in the Red Hills Road area, leaving behind critical evidence which we are using to further our investigations. For some time, we've been highlighting the fact that a person who is related to, associated with, or harbors gunmen puts themselves and others around them at great risk. We saw this play out in the unfortunate shooting of 5 persons, 2 of whom died, including reggae icon Donald Tabby Diamond Shaw in Olympic Gardens on March the 29th. A very sad story is that one of his sons is a known violence producer, currently detained on a murder charge, and preliminary investigations suggest that the death of Tabby Diamond was directly related to the activities of his son.
Major General Anderson further announced an 8.5% reduction in major crimes in the first quarter of this year.
Been an 8.5% reduction in all major crimes in the first quarter. As of March the 31st, murder was down 3%, with shootings down 16%. When we examine the number of homicides since the start of the year, we continue to see approximately 71% of them attributed to gang violence and 16% to interpersonal disputes. At this time, the western end of the island, Police Area 1, is our main concern, which currently accounts for about 35% of the nation's murders this year. In the past week, we have had to pivot and initiate a series of operations across western Jamaica. Based on analysis, we expect to see a quelling of this negative trend in this quarter. That is between now, April to June.
Still making the news tonight, the Crossroads Police are investigating the seizure of a firearm at Retirement Road, Kingston 5 yesterday. Reports from the Crossroads Police coming into our news center are that at about 3:15 p.m., a police team was on mobile patrol when they were informed that residents found a firearm along Retirement Road. Upon their arrival, 1 black Glock 19 semi-automatic pistol and 1 magazine was handed over to them. Investigations are ongoing. Still making Mello TV news, the police are investigating a double murder at Park Lane in Kingston that was reportedly carried out by attackers disguised as law enforcement officers. Now, the incident occurred at about midnight. One of the victims has been identified as Patrick Thompson, a chef from the Park Lane community. The identity of the other victim has not yet been released by the police. However, it is reported that he was a security guard and a licensed firearm holder. He was also reportedly of a Park Lane address. A motive has not yet been established for the killing. Continuing with the news tonight, 2 fishermen of Newtown Phase 2 Haze in Clarendon have been missing since March 18. They are 57-year-old Samuel Parker and 54-year-old Alvin Henry. Reports from the Maypen Police coming into our news center are that both men were last seen heading out to sea on a boat. Their mode of dress at the time they went missing is unknown. They have not been heard from since. Now, anyone knowing the whereabouts of Alvin Henry and Samuel Parker is being asked to contact the Maypen Police at 986-2208, Police Emergency 119, or the nearest police station. Still making Mello TV news, one Ruger P90.45 pistol with a magazine containing 4.45 rounds of ammunition was seized at Marl Road, Montpelier, St. James on Thursday, March 31. Arrested and charged for illegal possession of firearm and ammunition are 23-year-old Junior Louver, otherwise called Jesse, a laborer of Marl Road, Montpelier, St. James; 33-year-old Sarah Gale, otherwise called Angel, of Beirut, Rose Heights; 23-year-old Nicholas Palmer, otherwise called Nick, laborer of Marl Road, Montpelier; 32-year-old Seymour Spence, otherwise called Anthony or Flash, mason of Marl Road, Montpelier, all in St. James. Reports coming into our news center are that at about 8 p.m. a team of police officers conducted operations in the area. A house was searched and the weapon and ammunition were found beneath a couch. The 4 persons were subsequently arrested and charged. Their court date is being finalized. Still tonight, 25-year-old Michael O'Brien of Spring Grove District was charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition and wounding with intent in relation to an incident that occurred in Coffee Grove, Porus, Manchester on January 31. Reports coming into our news center are that at about 4 p.m., a man was driving his Nissan motor car in Top Coffee Grove District, Manchester, when another car drove up beside him with 2 men aboard. One of the men brandished a handgun and opened gunfire, hitting the complainant to his upper body. He was taken to the hospital, where he was admitted for treatment. O'Brien was subsequently arrested and charged following an identification parade where he was pointed out. His court date is being arranged. As we continue with the news, the St. Elizabeth Police charged 4 men for breaches of the Larceny Act after 2 farmers in the parish reported their goats stolen yesterday. Charged with larceny and receiving stolen property are 32-year-old Dwayne Clark, farmer, and 19-year-old Devontae Clark, both of Ochentembedi, Manchester; 28-year-old Anthony Essen, laborer of Parity, St. Elizabeth, and 24-year-old Kenroy Davis, farmer of Knoxwood District, St. Elizabeth. Reports are that between 5:30 p.m. on Sunday, April 3 and 4 a.m. yesterday, the farmers, one in Pedro Plains and the other in Greenfield District, both in St. Elizabeth, discovered that their goats were missing. Reports were made to the police, and an hour later, investigations led the team to Parity District in the parish, where the total of 8 goats were found. The goats, that have an estimated street value of 255,000 Jamaican dollars, were identified by their respective owners. The men were subsequently charged and are to appear in the St. Elizabeth Parish Court on Monday, May 11. Still tonight, Tourism Resilience Book to be Global Recovery Toolkit for Destinations, says Minister Edmund Bartlett. Here is Colleen May with the details.
A new book entitled Tourism Resilience and Recovery for Global Sustainability and Development navigated COVID-19 and the future is to be used as a guide for destinations seeking to recover from the devastating effects of the pandemic. The book, edited by Minister of Tourism Edmund Bartlett and Professor Lloyd Waller, Executive Director of the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center. Minister Bartlett said that this book has a series of relevant topics related to the pandemic that can be used to help accelerate tourism recovery.
What we are conscious of is the need to build capacity, to build the ability to understand, first of all, disruptions. And that's what this book is about. This book is about a consciousness of the need to prepare for disruptions because they're going to come. It is about being able to track disruptions when they are in the air. It's about being able to mitigate against disruptions when they are heading your way. It's about being able to manage disruptions when they actually reach to you. And then it's about recovery from disruptions when they are there and recover fast. And finally, to thrive. So understanding why this compendium of essays and the selection of who and what the subject matter was is very critical indeed. And so we are leaders today in that post-COVID movement as we seek to prepare the world for the next wave of disruption.
Minister Bartlett said that one of the successes of the Global Resilience Forum in Dubai earlier this year was gaining the support of all gatekeepers of tourism in the world.
A few weeks ago, we were in Dubai at the Dubai 2020 Expo. And at that expo, the Global Tourism and Resilience Center, in 3 weeks, put together one of the most impressive forums that the world has seen in tourism. The result of which is this document, the Dubai Declaration for Tourism Resilience Day. And we had the response and support of all the gatekeepers of tourism in the world. WTTC, the UNWTO, the OAS. We had statements from the Secretary General of the OAS at the forum. We had the UN Secretary General sending a message through the Deputy Secretary General and requesting that the outcome of that forum be sent to them to be utilized in their own strategy for the way forward.
He further said that over 200 organizations and institutions gave their support to having February 17 of each year as Global Tourism Resilience Day.
We were able to have over 200 organizations and institutions backing and giving support to the establishment of February 17th every year from 2023 as Global Tourism Resilience Day. And that was a very powerful thing, we think. And the gentleman, the chairman of the World Travel Awards was there, and he came over to me and he says, I apologize. I really thought it couldn't happen, but yes, Kingston can be the headquarters of global tourism in the world. And that, I think, said it all to us. So now we have centers in Africa, in Canada, North America, in Jordan, in the Middle East. Thanks, Anaki. In the Middle East, and we are heading for Greece, in the Mediterranean, and for Sofia, Bulgaria, in the East Europe, London, and we are sure about Africa, West Africa. We are sure about West Africa. And before the year is ended, Jamaica will be headquarters for more than 10 countries that would have resilience centers established.
Reporting from Mello TV News, I'm Colleen May.
Thank you, Colleen, for that report. And those are the stories making news. We now take a break and then join Christopher Scott with the latest in sports.